Hey, good morning, everybody. Boy, lots of excitement at the door there. Good morning, everybody. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Glad you're here today. And if you're new with us today and would like an information packet, just let one of the ushers know and they'll bring that to you. Also, if you would like a tour of the grounds and know more about the center, just talk to one of the ushers or the person at the board desk or myself, and we'll be glad to talk to you, but welcome. So we're going to start the morning off with a beautiful song by Gwen Rucker, our choir director and music director. So I know Sue and I heard her sing at the Sound of Music, and it was just exquisite. So really looking, no build up here at all, but so welcome Gwen to the opening song. Yeah. And if you want to hum along, go for it.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today. So, the first song that I want to offer is a piece I've been working on classical voice, and this is a piece by Schumann. It's sung in German, and it's a piece about urging love and about new love. And I felt like it was good for us this morning. It's very light and bright. The words are, since I first saw him, I felt as if I was blind. And I'm thinking a little bit about how we feel when we encounter the world, when we encounter delight, when we encounter the other, the friend, the parent, the lover, that delight that exists for all of us, and the astonishment. So I hope you'll enjoy the sentiment. Seit ich ihn gesehen. Seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. Wo ich ihn nur blicke, seh ich ihn allein, wie im Traume, schwebt sein Bild mir vor, doch das Tief stimmt dunkel, helle, nur empor. Sonst ich Licht und farblos alles mich her. Nach der schwersten Spiele nicht begehr ich mehr, möchte lieber weinen, still im Kämmerlein, seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein.
Who knew? That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'd like to invite the children up, and while we sing to them to go out to their Sunday school, and I guess they have a water play day today. Well, you can greet your neighbor to say hi and give a good smile, and then we'll sing the children out now. So once again, welcome. And in service today with me is Dr. Mary and Shirley and Christy. So we're available for prayer support after service. And then as I mentioned earlier, if you're new and you would like a tour of the grounds or some information, just let us know and we'll be happy to do that. And then if you have any devices that may go off with the sound during service, if you can silence them, we would appreciate that. And then after service, just a reminder, we do have refreshments in the social hall, and you can go there and visit and say hi to somebody, get to know somebody new. So we're going to have a few announcements today. And to start off, I'm going to have Reverend Sue come up to talk about a workshop.
Good morning. Really good to see you. We just got back from Chicago, so I'm a little jet-lagged, a little dull in the head, but filled with spirit, filled with love, and was excited to come back and see you all. And this coming Saturday, I'm going to host a workshop about our intuition. Oftentimes, we miss the moment where God speaks, and we're encouraged to do something, even the smallest act of kindness, and then we doubt ourselves. And so I thought, what a wonderful time to spend 3 hours together looking at some of the opportunities for you to recognize when that moment is for you, when intuition is knocking at your heart for you to wake up and to make a difference in the world. So I hope you join us next Saturday. We start at the hour of 9 a.m. to noon is all. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And you've heard from Diana before. She's been up here talking about the Nourishing Our Community, but it's in your program as well. This is an annual event. Well, it's coming back to be an annual event. But this is where we, you get to sign up to host an event, perhaps at your home, maybe a picnic, maybe some kind of excursion or a game night. But you sign up to host that particular event, and then people can bid to attend that. And so it's kind of a bidding war, it goes on for a while, and you keep bidding, and it's small increments, and then it's coded so that you don't know who's bidding. So at the very end, when it's all said and done, and you show up at the event, you get to see who you're going to be participating with. And it's really fun. It's a great way to get to know people perhaps you don't know. But it's always a fun time for community building, and it's also a fun event, for our annual budget as well. So a very important event, and it's a lot of fun, and I know Diana's here. You can always ask her questions, about that, and then also at the board desk you can ask questions. But you can now be signing up to host those events, And at some point soon, you'll be able to start bidding, and we'll be announcing that. Other announcements real quickly. The Gong Meditation, which is twice a month, is tonight with Joan Richards. It's here in the sanctuary. It's a beautiful opportunity to go with sound and to relax. People either lay down on the floor or they sit in their chair with their eyes closed. And it's a beautiful, it just takes you in deeper into that still small place, inside yourself. And you resonate, and then pretty soon the hour's gone. It's just beautiful. So that's tonight. And then we have the Heart Song Choir. Their summer vacation's over. So the rehearsals begin again on Thursdays from 7 to 9. So if you have an inkling to have your voice be heard or be part of the choir, you can see Gwen and talk to her about that. But, we're excited about the choir coming back and celebrating with us on Sundays. And then we have Awakening to Oneness with Life. That's the 2 Thursdays a month with Jill Matthews. It's a meditation out in the pavilion. She's done a lot of study, and she has taken it to heart and has a different theme every session. And she announces that ahead of time. And so it's a great time to sit with community and to spend some quiet time and reflection time. And she has a wonderful discussion session right afterwards. So that'll be this Thursday from 6:30 to 8 back in the pavilion. And then this Friday, we connect with the Hope Band. So once a month, our church, along with several others, show up with the Hope Band, and we serve food. And we also take the shoes that we collect for the Shoes for Souls, and any other clothing or socks and things like that. So that'll be this Friday at 8:15 on Breslauer Lane. I don't know the address, but you'll see it when you get there, and there's the Hope Band. So if you want to bring a casserole dish or cookies or something that people can eat, it's very, very heartwarming. The people that show up, they're so gracious and so filled with gratitude that it just feels like you're making a difference. And we know from them and how they express back to us that it did make a difference in their lives. And those shoes, they go fast, I tell you. We take big bags there, and then they're gone. So you talked about the workshop. Roy has his men's group tomorrow night, August 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. And then we have the exciting awareness newsletter folding day, which actually is exciting. It's a lot of fun to get with people and fold the newsletter, and then you get to read it before everybody gets it in the mail. So you know what's happening. So that's Thursday, August 31st, 9 to 11. So with that said, I'd like to invite Sally Foster up to do our reading, and then Shirley will do the prayer. Then we'll invite the bell as well for 3 times. It's an opportunity to go within and just connect with your deeper spirit. Thank you.
Jim Carrey had a natural talent and passion for being dramatic. His parents would invite friends over when he was a child, and he would easily become a theatrical entertainer. He quickly discovered that he found joy in making people laugh and learned a valuable lesson from his father. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. Practicality, he said in a video posted by Daily Mail. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him. So he made a conservative choice, and instead he got a job as an accountant. Then Carrie reveals the moral of the story. When I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, he added. Our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which is that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Pema Chodron, in When Things Fall Apart, says to stay with shakiness, to stay with a broken heart, with a rumbling stomach, with a feeling of hopelessness, that is the path of true awakening. Sticking with that uncertainty, getting the knack of relaxing in the midst of chaos, learning not to panic, this is the spiritual path.
Join with me this morning in the stillness of the moment as we realize that there is only one, a sacred presence within, all wisdom, all power, and always the expression of our heart-based love. We meet together with a common passion, a desire to know the divine from that deep place within our being. We look for understanding and guidance as we find our way through the rush and the hurry of our busy lives. May we love all others and care for ourselves. May we trust our inner guidance and find joy in each day. We're so grateful for Spirit's grace, wisdom, and guidance, as together we say, and so it is.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Judy. So the message today is the whole month we've been talking about passion and purpose. And today's topic title, it is Your Passion, Don't Doubt It. And I love to start off this idea with a quote from Tagore. He says, "The song that I came to sing remains unsung to this day. I have spent my days in stringing and in unstringing my instrument." Take that in. There was recently, I shared, I know this before, when we had the most recent Sage Wisdom Circle, there was this angst I was sharing that I was holding as I've gotten older. I'm not finished something. There's something in my life I need to finish. And I felt this anxiety pulling on me that there's more to do. There's so much more to do. And I felt like I'm, towards the edge of the timeline. So that really struck me, Tagore's I have spent my days stringing and unstringing my instrument, and my song remains unsung. So I speak to that because it touches passion. It touches the very heart of passion. And we came back from this inspirational week, this profound week at the Parliament of World Religions, the biggest group of faith path connection around the world, around the planet here. And I sat once more with Reverend Lynn and Charlie, myself, immersed in the rich diversity of spirituality on our planet and the cultures, all the different cultures that are living and inspiring this world. And I realized, oh my gosh, I've been living too small. There's so much. There's so much here I want to take back, and I want to fill all your hearts. I want to inspire all of you. I want all our voices to be sung. And our takeaways from that experience for Lynn, Charlie, and I are all personal, reflective, but also inspiring. One of the loudest pleas of the wisdom keepers, of those spiritual leaders, of the most profound scientists of our time, and most importantly from the indigenous peoples and their leaders and the teachers from all around the world, is for us to take the message back home. Take the message back home and be the change. Bring the message of the Parliament and the consciousness of that Parliament experience back to all people so we all wake up. It's a plea, it's a call to our passion to live out loud this message of change needed for us all to come together as a powerful catalyst to care for the earth, to care for the air, the water, for all of nature, for one another, people. I digress for a moment, but I even heard it in your song, Gwen, when you spoke, when you introduced it. What really struck me so much was the words about other. The other. We've been fighting with one another on different political issues, different political parties. Whether there is global warming or climate change, we've been arguing. And yet, at the very core, there is a wisdom, a very sweet wisdom that the indigenous people, the grandfathers have come back and said, this is my dream, this is my vision, this is what I know in the future. And may all that you do, all that all people do, may it affect 7 generations to come. And I thought, oh, so small. I've been living so small. I've been trying to deny the moment that I go get a plastic cup instead of a glass cup to drink my water. Everything makes a difference. Every time we choose plastic, every time we ignore the plea of the people of the small islands that are sinking because the water is rising, every time we turn and think, that's the other's problem. No. It's our problem as one people. So that message for all plant life, for all people, for all living species, to share our space on Mother Earth. One global message. So we are one now with humanity, listening to the call and heeding the advice of these tribal ancestors, from the Aborigines to the Amazon, to our own United States, to Canada. They come and they call to us, begging us, especially in the Amazon forest, to hear their shamans and their leaders begging for us to pay attention. They hold, though, through all of that, a greater vision for our greater good, not for themselves, but a dream for all. Because they have the intuitive knowing to see the future through their dreams, through the way that they have chosen to be in their life. So the pleading to no longer play small or think of our selfishness or our greed that is seen for some reason entitled or warranted on certain level. And so here it is to not separate another out as the other. That's where I have a lot of work to do. And so one brilliant pastor came out and said, Don't forget prayer. Lead with prayer. End your evenings in prayer. And remember the world. So, to not separate ourselves out and to truly live in one of the greatest prophecies of all times is the golden rule. Do unto others, there it is, do unto others, as you would have them do unto you. Not the others that you get along with, necessarily, that's good. All others. In Buddhism, it is heard, treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. Confucianism says, one word which sums up the basis of all good contact is loving kindness. Do unto others what you do not want done to yourself. Hinduism, this is the sum total of all duty. Do not do to others what would cause pain if done to you. In Islam, not one of you truly believes until you wish for the others what you wish for yourself. In Judaism, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. In Sikhism, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am a friend to all. And so we don't blur the lines here. And we look at the clarity and the wisdom, finally, of Chief Dan George. We are as much alive as we keep the earth alive. If we each have the discipline then, and the courage, and the compassion to stand in what we believe without needing to be confrontational and stoop to that low place where we allow the voices of bitter anger to spew, if we act in love and make diversity something that is very welcoming and knowing that it's very powerful in its own nature, it is recognized we are all in this together. One humanity, one love, and no other. We are urged to celebrate differences, diversity, and not expect, here it's important, not expect uniformity. We are urged to celebrate. And so this is not foreign to us here in New Thought. Ernest Holmes said, we are surrounded by this intelligent law which receives the impress of our thought, acts upon it. This is the law of our life, and we can use it consciously for definite purposes. We are expressing this in our everyday life. So as we talk about passion and purpose, we can all get motivated and charged up, but then we all recognize there's a voice in our head that starts to give its input, and we freeze up. There's a doubt that might start to infiltrate, and we pull back. But here is where all the spiritual practices, and I know that you are all invested in your own, we begin to know that all those spiritual practices that we have used to silence those voices that are trying to keep us small, we call upon those spiritual practices. And we begin then to trust, first and foremost, the intuition that is guiding you to self-express your unique gift and talent, not necessarily your opinion. Okay? Opinions come, go, and can be polished. But there is deeper than that, a gift and a talent. So it seems the moments of our imperfection get over-exaggerated in our head. And some people also kind of delight, don't they? It seem to be pointing out to us, either blatantly or passive-aggressively, that we're not doing so well. Or then we find that if we hear that voice, I got stung at one booth, and I thought, ouch, what they just said to me kind of hurt my feelings. I became very small again. I was all like, I'm going to go back, and then I went, ooh, what do I have to say? And I thought, isn't that weird? Just one comment can shrink this field of knowing inside of it. It's not the truth. But our insecurities get stuck even deeper when we feel like they're reinforced from the other. So we get judged negatively, and then we're left more timid to act out loud the next time. So self-acceptance here is so crucial. Comparing ourselves with others is that major block to our own good. If we don't feel worthy, then our dreams begin to disintegrate. Fear causes us to simply stall out. Well, that might be the story up until now. But here's the rest of the story. Everything is always evolving towards a greater good and a greater expression. We have beliefs and expectations that were self-created and can make a straight way all of a sudden seem very crooked. Our thoughts are very powerful. We want to remember that. We reinforce that all the time, the power and the creative potentiality of every thought we have. And we drive this understanding all the time. If we could learn simply to be amused, just be amused by the unexpected instead of feeling so cursed by it, we'd be a step ahead. Here is what Lynn Twist says about living a committed life. Hear this. A commitment larger than your own wants and needs lifts out of you of the landscape of your circumstances and personal desires. It lifts you out of day-to-day moods, irritations, and upsets about things not going your way. It pulls you out of the smallness and elevates you to a place where you find the strength, the courage to generate your life out of possibility and generosity. I love that because it's those small, naggy voices that imprint upon us a sense of our unworthiness, and they're not the truth. So I ask you, as you sit there listening, what is blocking you? Is it fear? That's natural, but it's not real. Do you feel separated from the divine? That's impossible and delusional. You cannot be separated from the divine nature. The Spirit of the divine is forever, always loving and infusing you, bolstering you. It is greater and more powerful than anything else you could ever wonder about. There's no limitation here. You assume failure. Well, trust in God, trust in good. I have an answer pretty much for everything to make those crooked places straight again. A minor correction on your course of life is all that's called for. So what's still blocking you? Doubt? Self-doubt? Phooey. Not good enough? Well, have you tried even the first step yet? Feeling defensive? As I mirror back to you some of these ideas, are you feeling defensive? Are you trying to pull in all of the things that you've been arguing with others about and say, well, I'm right here? Are we? Who knows? Take a breath. Nothing is blocking you from the unfoldment but you. And you do have purpose, and you do have a passion, and you are worthy to express that. Now, are you just allowing yourself to get really comfortable in a zone that you've been in because you've been in it so long? Why bother stepping out and getting all those uncomfortable butterfly feelings in my tummy? Why do that? But then it nags you in your dreams and in your daydreams. Time now to step outside those lines and take a chance. Thriving is much more satisfying than simply surviving the rest of our years. And remember this, you thought up your self-doubt, layered it with feelings to support it. Start to break it down today. Here's where Charles Barker comes in from the power of decision. The goodness of life is the goodness of God. I now release all emotional power from any and all guilt in my subconscious mind. Oh, I am set free of all self-judgment and self-condemnation. Praise be to God to be free of self-judgment and self-condemnation. As we left that conference, we were reminded once again, they remind us every few years we go to these, that for this week we were immersed in a bubble of common good for all, a compassionate and heart-filled week, lessons of wisdom of heart. But we were knowing it was coming to a close, and we were about to step out of that comfort zone that was a container holding, embracing each one of us, enriching us to grow and expand our preferences in the world. And then we move. We go to the airport and we are immersed. And we start to realize that we are part of this all, and there is much work to do, and we cannot allow our voices to get small again. Richard Rohr says, "We are not all weeds, but are we not all wheat either? We have to learn even now to accept and to forgive the mixed bag of reality in ourselves and in everybody else." So another phrase besides the use of the word other struck me at the very opening of the conference, the coordinator of the entire event. And the opening was very chaotic because it took 3 hours to get through the lines to register. So that was, that brought up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So, but he starts off in the first opening statement. He said this: "If things aren't to your satisfaction, we seek your forgiveness." Who could complain after that? It just everybody all their shoulders went down. All of their facial expressions of being, just was like, oh, okay, no big deal. So if things aren't to your satisfaction, we seek your forgiveness. So why did I reflect on that so much? The responsibility that rests in my heart at this center weighs on me, because I say to myself often, who am I? Who am I to lead the conversations and decisions of concern here on a daily basis? Who am I to say what's right, what's wrong, what's good for all? And sometimes I hear for the 100th time that someone didn't feel seen or heard, and my heart shatters. That any one of you have not felt seen or heard here. I don't know if you know that breaks me, because we're here about loving one another, and if we can't do it in this small gathering, then who are we? What are we doing wrong? How can we do better is what I say. And then I find my own heart closing around the homeless issues of destruction and disrespect that we witness on a daily basis here. From some of the homeless issues that are abusing our property, and the generosity that goes unnoticed of things that we tried to do and they became destroyed. So I say, I have to go deeper. What else can we do to bridge the problems with compassion and understanding? So on many levels, this phrase just struck my heart chord. So I stand here without even talking to the board or the leadership, but I say to all of you, if things are not to your satisfaction, we seek your forgiveness. Can you hear that? Can you take that in? Because we're all trying very, very hard. And so we enjoy hearing from you. We want to be able to reach one another as fellow human beings and recognize this need now to no longer wallow in some of the smallness, but to stand up and defend the human rights of one another. We don't want to slip any longer into those conversations that continue to divide our hearts from one another. We want to have that moral voice to spiritually consider all of our own personal actions and behaviors. So if our actions, if our speech, consider it for yourself, your behavior, your attitude can possibly bring harm to anyone instead of healing, then don't do it again. That's all. Don't do it again. Listen to yourselves. Listen to your soul nature. It was once stated by a person, the need to sensitize ourselves, get closer to the suffering. We witness our own nature, sometimes casting anger and hurt and mistrust, but we cannot any further from this day forward dehumanize marginalize anyone who does not agree with us. Cardinal Blase Coupet says, there was a collective concern, for all is brewing and awakening us all to a higher way of interconnections. And he said, relating to how we use our voice on the internet, and he said this, are your fingertips narrowing your point of view? Are you being helpful in what you're saying? He said, we seem to see others who align with us, but those who we don't, we want them to just disappear. But the call really is get closer. Something's trying to emerge and evolve here. So very quickly, I want to share Michael Beckwith gave a very powerful testimony, an energized message of how new thought is actually carrying this forward. And we can do this all starting now, no longer wasting any of our breath, complaining and dividing one another according to our preferences, but to raise the vibration, lift the vibration, to see us all as one community. I loved this. Can you hear him? One community. And what is it? Let's see. Well, I lost my place because it was so cool. I blew it for you, Michael Beckwith. He said, see us all as one community in different locations. If we can stay steadfast to the vision of seeing in our minds and thoughts the birthing of beloved communities emerging all over the world, and get that sense of feeling the tone of all of that with your heart, we step into the one power of God and we become the change. That feeling tone is what he encouraged us to carry with us and allow that energy to sustain us in the work that we do. And he is so famous to remind us to let the visions that we have out there to be pulled by the vision, not drugged by the vision. So he said that's the energy of the butterfly effect emerging from what has been. As we no longer pay attention to it, we all know it, we've all named it, we've all complained about whatever it is for you. But if we don't give it any more attention, it will go away. It will dissolve. And sustain now the visionary idea of an evolutionary collaboration of a higher good for all. We turn our attention away and allow a greater awareness to evolve. And so we charge our passion with love, peace, hope, a courage. We shall overcome. We can all make a mistake, but we can also all make a difference. So think about it right now for yourself personally, really deep inside. What can you turn your attention to? What is that little nagging voice of passion inside of you? What is the deeper purpose? Because you'll see it's moving you. It's moving you to doing and being in service. So we enlarge this. And I like to say that the crybaby wambulance of our ego begins to fade. That feeling of being useless and whining and complaining begins to still its call inside of us. God did not create us against all odds so that we could spend the precious gift of our life judging others or deciding who deserves mercy and forgiveness. We are called to compassionately advise others from a place of genuine love. That is a quote from Helweth, The Secrets of Divine Love. So as you leave here today, think about what you can do on a personal level. Question your long-held beliefs and opinions. What are you hanging onto, and what has separated you? We're really close to something beautiful here. And I want you to take a chance this week to see a larger picture. And Reverend Lisa Carson, who wrote some words on this particular topic, she sums it up saying, Step into the knowing that each passion we have is assisted also with a perfect pattern activated at birth. The universe expands by playing and creating through our unique and perfectly imperfect human form. Start now and refuse to wait until everything gets perfect. Be willing to be imperfectly bold, bold enough to try and then refuse to walk away ever from the vision of a world that works for all through our prayer, through our visioning. We put God in the center again. And we don't waste any of our precious gifts in the complaint department any longer. Hildegard of Bingen says, humanity is called to assist God. That's us. Humanity is called to co-create. We have a purpose, and it's a call of our soul. So let us embrace one another today, reminding ourselves we're connected to a greater power. That's the true purpose. We all have a passion, longing to express that. We are here. We are each here to awaken the world. So I'll have Judy come up, and I will read you the final words of the Parliament of World Religions, and then a beautiful collective prayer from Sri Srimnoy, who spent a lot of his time in Sri Aurobindo Ashram. But this is the closing statements of this beautiful little book, and when Charlie and I have time, we're going to set up a table back there that has all kinds of resources for you to find what stirs your heart, and for you to connect with those websites and sign on the dotted line that you too support that. But listen to this. Go ahead and play, Judy, as they take their deep listening a level deeper. In conclusion, we appeal to all the inhabitants of this planet. Earth cannot be changed for the better unless the consciousness of individuals is changed. We pledge to work for such transformation in individual and collective consciousness, for the awakening of our spiritual powers through reflection, meditation, prayer, positive thinking, for a conversion of the heart. Together, we can move mountains. Without a willingness to take risks and a readiness to sacrifice, there can be no fundamental change in our situation. Therefore, we commit ourselves to a common global ethic, to better mutual understanding, as well as to socially, beneficially, peace-fostering, and earth-friendly ways of life. We invite all men, all women, whether religious or not, to do the same. So we go deeper and we call into the spirit of the one. And we hear these words from Sri Srimnoy. There will come a time when this world of ours will be flooded with peace. Who will bring about this radical change? It will be you. You and your sisters and brothers. You and your oneness heart will spread peace throughout the length and the breadth of the world. Allow ourselves now to feel the anointing love, the blessings. I want you to see around you, just imagine a vision of all the sacred leaders, all the impressionable teachers of your lifetime, whether alive or not. I want you to feel them surrounding you because they're right here with you. And we feel this room crowded in love. Our space opens to one another. Our hearts flood with a sense of openness and compassion, empathy, forgiveness, understanding. We are indeed one. There's no place else to go. So we walk in the company of the great ones. We now choose to allow all of our actions, thoughts, behaviors to benefit the generations to come. And we bless our ancestors for mapping the way. We stand on holy ground and we do the holy work. wherever we are. I give thanks for each one of you here, for the ears to listen, for the hearts that are opening. Thank you. Thank you. I hear it. Thank you from the divine to you. And so it is. Thank you. Gwen. Blessed Gwen. What a treat to have you lead us with that pure voice into what I'm talking about. Thank you.
I'd like to offer You'll Never Walk Alone. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up. Through a storm, hold your head up high. And don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. wonderful to share with you. It's just wonderful to share with you. Thank you.
That was beautiful. So I'd like to invite the ushers forward. And Sue, I think you covered a lot of what we did at the Parliament, but there's so much more also, and in so many different areas. It just wasn't just the environment, but it was on human rights as well as, I froze, but there were like 6 different themes, and it all had to do with bringing the world together, and seeing the commonality. So it was beautiful hearing all the different voices, and we do look forward to sharing some videos as well as some literature, and so look forward to that. So as we prepare for the offering, just think of these words. As I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I'm filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I do receive. We are so blessed, and on behalf of the center, I give great thanks as you join me in this thanks for the blessings that are given, knowing full well that this sustains and helps grow this center into the beacon that it's meant to be, a beacon of light that draws people from not just our community, from around the world into this place in our hearts. And so as we give, it's returned many, many different ways. And so we are deeply, deeply grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So we're going to have a closing song by Gwen, and that's her cue. And then Sue will come up and have a goodbye. But on behalf of me, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. And if anybody wants to join the landscape team, just feel free to see Diana, Roy, or me. We have lots to do. Thank you.
So now I'm going to offer another song, a song of inspiration. And I brought this recently. Many friends from the center came to watch a performance that I offered in The Sound of Music not too long ago. And so I'm bringing a little, this is my reprisal, Climb Every Mountain. I got to perform as the Mother Abbess. And it was a real treat, and it was wonderful performing as a spiritual teacher. As when you're an actor, it's often, I love playing the tawdry sort and people that, make trouble and are a source of drama, I've got my red dress and all that, but really in life, so much of what carries us and makes a difference is the wisdom that we offer one another and that our teachers offer us. So thank you to our teachers. Thank you, Sue. Climb every mountain. And climb the mountains, both literal and metaphoric. Because sometimes you have to really dig in. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every rainbow till you find your dream, a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream, a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you have a beautiful day. Thank you.
What a gift, right? Oh my gosh. Keep singing, Gwen. Just do that one note one more time. I remember at one of the parliaments they say, just take a breath and then let it out, and it was like kind of quiet, and I burped right in that. So I'm afraid that would happen to me if I was trying to hold one of those notes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. And if you want to join the choir, you'll end up singing like that. So, absolutely. Yeah, you can teach them. So I wanted to just thank you again for being here today. And my heart is very full. My son is here. He's in the back wearing the hat, being shy. Yeah, that's my son, Chris. He has, he leaves after this. And I was telling him, a mother's heart, you just want your kids to come home. You want your kids to come home. And so for years, it's been these visits, these weekend visits, but he creates this time to stay like 3 weeks or more. And I can't say to all the children who have visited their parents in a while, stretch it out a little bit, because it's so rich. It's so fulfilling to have family come home and to be together, whether you're quiet or watching TV or eating or just staring at each other. Winning at cribbage over and over. But Chris, safe journeys from all of us here. We travel with you, and we wait your return again. And so all of you, just go out with full hearts and remember that phrase, we shall overcome. God bless you all. Thank you.